Hey, welcome back to our channel. In this video, we're searching for an old mysterious mine in the Ochoco Mountains in Central Oregon. "14 years ago, we found this mining operation, but we did it on foot. We drove in about a mile from it and hiked the rest of the way. The problem was, on that day it was hot. The terrain is very rugged. So this time we're taking the side-by-side, make it much easier. We know roughly where it's at, just need to find a roadway up to it. The Ochoco National Forest is just east of Prineville, Oregon. The process in many of these mining operations was to crush down the cinnabar, which is kind of a reddish rock, heat it up. The mercury vaporizes out of the rock, and the vapor is then condensed into its normal form. Mercury was mined and sold as is, but also they used it in gold mining. Several different ways of doing that. Some actually put the mercury in their gold pan, and the small gold particles would collect in the mercury. Then a process of heating again, heating somewhere between 500 and 800 degrees, I've heard different numbers, vaporizes the mercury off, and then all you have left is the gold. There are several mines in the Ochocos that are pretty well known. Several structures still stand at the Blue Ridge mine. The Motherlode mine was probably the biggest structure that we found up there. Appeared to have been a big operation at one time and was abandoned in the mid-50s. The Independence mine, several buildings still stand there. By the construction, it appears that some may have been built maybe even the 30s or 40s. Then there are rough-sawn lumber for other buildings that may have been late 40s, early 50s. To get to the mine that we're going to on this video, we went east of Prineville to a road right at the end of Ochoco Reservoir, road called Mill Creek Road, follows Mill Creek up the valley. Right near the Steens Pillar, which is an unusual 350-foot tall rock formation. Near that point, we turn on a road, go back a ways with the truck, unload the side-by-side, and then make the rest of the trip. Well, we're buckled in. We're getting ready to go. Becky and our two dogs, Max and Cody. Max is with his mama. He's a mama's boy. And our daughter and granddaughter, all headed up to the mine. As we head out up through the trees, it's a little bit difficult knowing where the old original road was. I think the first part wasn't really the original road, but we finally got onto the road that they used and followed it up almost all the way, although there were some really big trees across the road in some spots, so we had to go around. But side by side is a good way to travel in this country. The summer of 2020 has been rough for a lot of people. For us, we just, rather than be locked down at home, we just decided to head out into the wilderness. And because we haven't spent a lot of time in the Ochocos, we felt it's a good place to explore. So it was our way of social distancing. Rarely see anybody out here. As we go higher in elevation, we see more pine trees. Down in the valley, along the river, quite a few juniper trees mixed with some pines. Quite a lot of wildlife up here. Deer, antelope, even wild horses in the Ochoco Mountains. You see those occasionally. And there's some areas where they graze cattle here, rabbits and coyotes. This smelter is a lot more primitive than most that we've seen up here, but it's obvious they had a little firebox on the lower part, and apparently put the cinnabar in the big tubes there, and the mercury vapor would move uphill and come down the tube that slants off to the left. Just down the road a couple 100 yards from this little smelter is this cabin. This cabin looks like it's somewhat later than some of the other log cabins with rough-cut lumber construction. Could have been a hunter's cabin after the smelter was shut down. It's hard to say. All around the area, within a mile or so, we found other cabins. I think we found remnants of 4 or 5. So there may have been other mining locations. In fact, when we looked at the records for claims, there was several claims around that area. Grandma Becky and granddaughter walking out the road that comes in from the smelter to the little cabin. Not far from the little smelter mining operation, we went all the way to the top of the hill. Nice viewpoint. See a nice view of the Mill Creek Valley.